Hey everyone, welcome to episode 11 of The Depths, with your hosts Atramentum_X and me. This week we'll be discussing polyamory in lewd tubing spaces. Polyamory is a complex topic, however, so before we start, here's a brief and simple introduction to help familiarize you with the topic. The word polyamory has its roots in Latin, poly meaning many, and amor meaning love. It's the practice of engaging in multiple romantic, and typically, but not always, sexual relationships with the knowledge and consent of all parties involved. It's also sometimes called ethical non-monogamy. Polyamorous relationships have been around since civilization has existed. Whilst the term polyamory has only been in common use in the last half-century or so, the concept can be found in various forms across cultures throughout humanity's history, right up to today. Let's start our discussion with some common myths and misconceptions about polyamorous relationship styles. Myth: polyamory equals swinging. Swinging focuses primarily on recreational sex, and encounters tend to be shorter term or for a predefined period, such as a weekend or a specific event. Polyamory focuses on building longer-lasting connections and relationships. Swingers may of course find connections and relationships through swinging, but that's not the primary point of the activity. Myth: polyamory equals cheating. Cheating involves deception and betrayal by violating an agreement based on trust. Both poly and monogamous relationships have norms and boundaries that need to be respected in order for the relationship to succeed. Cheating is generally caused by an unwillingness or inability to manage the terms of the relationship versus the cheater's desires, and this can happen in relationships of any kind. Myth: poly people don't feel jealousy. Jealousy is a feeling usually rooted in insecurity or an unfulfilled need. Everyone will experience it at some point in their lives, regardless of their preferred relationship style. Polyamorous people aren't different or better or more evolved than monogamous people. They just have a different preferred relationship style. People are gonna people. Period. Myth: polyamorous people just can't commit. In this context, commitment is an active promise to stay true to the rules and boundaries of a relationship and behave a certain way within it. Exactly what that looks like varies from relationship to relationship, but a mutual agreement on what it is and adherence to it is vital to the success of any serious relationship, no matter how many participants are involved. Myth: polyamory is more kinky than monogamy. Absolutely false. Polyamory is a relationship style, not a sexual practice. The gamut of human sexuality encompasses any kind of relationship, from ace to hyper, monog to poly. Where you fall on the spectrum is down to you. So, what do poly relationships actually look like? The simplest visual representation of a poly relationship is the triangle. Partners that are in a romantic relationship are called paramours. Those that are part of the relationship but not romantically involved with one another are called metamours. In the case of our triangle, if two of the partners are not together, the person at the tip of the V is sometimes referred to as the hinge. Together they form a polycule, which is a network of interconnected relationships. These may be closed and exclusive within the group, open to new experiences and partners, or a mix of the two. Anyone involved with a metamour who is not also involved with the hinge is called a telemour. They may have their own relationships and partners, or be with the metamour exclusively. Polyamorous org charts, for lack of a better word, fall into two main types: hierarchical and non-hierarchical. Some people prefer a hierarchical relationship structure, with partners designated as primary, secondary, or similar. Primary partners may be prioritized in life decisions, such as financial choices, cohabitation, and family planning, and are usually involved in setting out the initial rules that govern the open relationship. A secondary partner would need to fit in with these rules and choices, with little negotiating power on issues that don't directly affect them. A non-hierarchical relationship will usually spread this power more evenly between the participants, without requiring automatic deference to specific relationships within the group. Here are some more common terms you may come across in polyamorous spaces. Unicorn: a bisexual woman who prefers to have relationships with both parts of a heterosexual couple as a secondary partner, conforming to terms set primarily by the couple. Unicorn hunters: heterosexual couples seeking a bisexual woman as a secondary partner to both members of the couple. This term is often used derisively to refer to couples expecting an unhealthy imbalance of power and value within the dynamic, usually to the detriment of the unicorn. Fluid bonding. Not using barriers such as condoms during sexual activities within polyamorous dynamics. People in poly relationships are responsible for the protection of their partners as well as themselves. Having more partners comes with a higher risk of STD infection, so safe sex practices are vital. Fluid bonding is an indication of trust within a dynamic and should never be taken lightly. Nesting partner. Partners with whom you share a home. And finally, compersion. The opposite of jealousy, this is the feeling of empathetic joy at your partner's pleasure in another relationship, such as with a metamor. The information in this video is by no means comprehensive, but I hope it can serve as a basic introduction to the topic of polyamory and enable you to fully participate in tonight's discussion. My sources will be credited on the ending card, so if any of you are interested in polyamory, please do check them out. Thank you for watching. See you in the studio.